Hello, this is Spanish 2, Unit 3, Part 2. Now we're going to talk about some of the gramática in your textbook today, and we are on page 110, 110 in your textbook. We're looking at the preterite of regular verbs. Now we'll talk about what was completed in the past, what somebody did in the past. So let's read about it, and then we'll look at the forms. To talk about actions that were completed in the past, use the preterite tense. This is important. They were completed in the past. To form the preterite tense of a regular verb, add the preterite endings to the stem of the verb. So these are the preterite endings we're looking at here. You have mirar, to look at. That's an AR verb. Aprendí, it's from aprender, which is an ER verb, and escribí, which is from escribir, which is an IR verb. So you have AR, ER, and IR all together. So mire, that's your ending for the AR verbs, and the ER, IR will have similar endings here. So you'll see that pattern repeat. So it's yo mire. It's important that you stress that last syllable. Mire. If you don't stress that last syllable, it sounds like a command in Spanish. If you say mire, that means you're telling somebody to look. So yo mire or mire means I looked. Aprendí, I learned. Escribí, and there is an accent on there, I wrote. With tú, you have the aste and the iste endings. Miraste, you looked. Aprendiste, escribiste, etc. With usted, él, and ella, you have miró. This also should have a written accent on the O. Miró, not miro, but miró. Aprendió and escribió. Now in the nosotros, you have the same ending as you have in the present tense. Miramos. So miramos can be present tense or past tense. The same thing with the IR verbs. Escribimos, it could be present or past tense. The only difference is here with the ER verbs. Aprendimos instead of aprendemos. So the E of the ER verbs becomes an I in the preterite or past tense. With vosotros and vosotras, this is only used in Spain, so shouldn't be tested on this. But mirasteis, aprendisteis, y escribisteis, it's very similar to the tú form. And then with ustedes, which is y'all, and then ellos and ellas, which is they, you have the same endings here. Miraron, aprendieron, escribieron. So it's the ieron ending or the aron ending. And there it is. So let's look at some of the notes here. The AR and ER verbs that have a stem change in the present tense do not have a stem change in the preterite. So we see generalmente me pruebo la ropa antes de comprarla. Generally, I try on clothes before buying them or buying it. I try on the article of clothing before buying it. Me pruebo, that's the present tense, right? Pero ayer no me probé los pantalones que compré. But yesterday I didn't try on the pants that I bought. So you have the past tense of the same verb here. And notice that the O stays the same. Probar, probarse is the verb. But you see in the present tense, of course, that O changes to UE. Me pruebo, because it's stressed. But in the past tense, it's not stressed anymore. So it does not change. That vowel does not change into the UE. And that works with all spelling change verbs that you saw, like comenzar or empezar. Okay, instead of comience, comienza, etc. It's comencé, because you're not stressing that verb, that vowel anymore. Or like a verb like servir, where the I became an O, the I became an I. The E became an I. Instead of sirves, etc., you just have serví, serviste, sirvió, etc. You don't have the same kind of spelling changes, but we'll look more into that too, because there's some that have a slight spelling change for the past tense, so maybe servir wasn't the greatest example. But you'll have those rules that don't apply anymore. Okay, let's look at what else. Ver has regular preterite endings. So you have viste, vio, vimos, and vieron. But unlike those of the other verbs, they have no written accent marks. So here's an example. Anoche David vio una camisa que le gustó mucho. Vio. It's just written without an accent mark, as you can see. Verbs that end in car, gar, and zar have a spelling change in the O form of the preterite. Buscar, in buscar, the C becomes a QU when you have an E following it. And the reason is it conserves that hard K sound. So when you need that for the C, that it changed to a QU. So yo busqué. So it sounds the same. Buscar, yo busqué. There's no change in the sound, but there's a change in the spelling to compensate because a CE in Spanish would be pronounced se. The C would take on an S sound. So it changes to a QU. And that's the only reason. There's no change in pronunciation. The G might have a U after it to preserve the hard G sound of the G if needed. So you know that GE and GI in Spanish are pronounced G or Ji, like gigante or gente, right? So to say I paid, you need to have a U in there to get yo pagué. So you're not pronouncing the U or anything. It's just a way to preserve the hard G sound, just as in the QU was there to preserve the hard K sound in buscar. So it's just, in these two examples, you're just preserving the sound that was originally there. That's all it is. No change in pronunciation. Almorzar, in this case, you're not really preserving anything. In Spanish, though, the Z is only used when it has to be there. When it's supposed to be a C, but you want to make it an S sound before an A or an O or a U. So in Spanish, use a Z. So the Z can go back to the C in words like almorcé, because the A sound makes it an S sound anyway, so you do not need the Z anymore. And that's why it's there. The same rule applies with lápiz and lápices, right? Lápiz, pencil. Lápiz is L-A-P-I-Z, but plural is L-A-P-I-C-E-S, lápices. And so it actually, you don't need to use the Z anymore, and that's why that's there. So you're not preserving anything in this example. You're simply, you don't need the Z anymore. And for the GAR and the CAR, what you're doing is you're actually preserving the sound. Pagaste mucho por tu suéter nuevo? Did you pay a lot for your new sweater? No pagué mucho. So you see the sound is the same. No pagué mucho. Lo encontré en una liquidación. I didn't pay a lot. I found it on sale. Okay. Now let's look at your student guide work, starting with 2B5 this time. We have ¿Qué hicieron? What did they do? Alicia and her friends went shopping yesterday. Complete the following sentences to tell what they saw and bought. Use the preterite. That's that past tense that we just saw in the book. Remember right here. We're going to use this information to answer the questions. So here we go. And look at the modelo. Look at the example. Alicia y sus amigos. And then we have the verb decidir. And then de compra. So all we're doing is we're filling in what they decided, right? So we're going to say Alicia y sus amigos, Alicia and her friends decided. So we need to know the past tense of these verbs. So let's look at number 1. Alicia y sus amigos. We're going to say that they arrived at the market, right? So We can replace Alicia y sus amigos if we want to with ellos. Sus amigos llegaron, right? We want to say that they arrived. Alicia y sus amigos llegaron. Let's make this a little bit smaller there, smaller font. Alicia y sus amigos llegaron al mercado. They arrived at the market. Okay, we're going to say tú, which is you, and ver, which is to see. And we're going to say that you saw una liquidación, a sale. You saw a sale. You saw it, and it's like the English word liquidation, right? We mean a sale, right? So tú, it would be viste, right? Tú viste. Now you can put the pronoun in there if you want or not. It doesn't matter in Spanish. It's used for emphasis or clarification. So, viste una liquidación. Número 3, ellos entrar. We want to say ellos entraron, right? They came into the store. Ellos, and again, we don't need to say ellos, but we can. Ellos entraron. It's only used for clarification and emphasis. Ellos entraron en la tienda. They came into the store. Okay, Alicia, we're going to say that she received. Recibir means to receive. Un descuento. So she got a discount. Alicia recibió un descuento. La tienda, we're going to say the store announced, right? Anunciar means to announce. La ganga del siglo, right? The deal of a century. Okay, that must be a great deal, right? Must be a great discount. La tienda anunció. Okay. If we don't know why, you should understand why this is anunció. Why is it? You should be able to ask yourself, why is it that form, anunció? If you don't know, then you should listen to what I'm about to say. We're talking about the store announced, right? The store. With a third person like that, you're going to, like a he or a she, okay? Or it, right? It announced. That would work, right? The store. Right? Instead of the store, we could say it announced, and that's what we need. So the he, she form is the same as the it form, that we would use in English. So use that form in Spanish. La tienda anunció, the store announced. So it's almost kind of like saying she, right? Because la tienda is feminine. So you can think of it that way. The store, she announced something. Whatever works. But you had to make sure you understand which is what's the pronoun that you want to use. With Jorge, it's él, right? He. So we want to say Jorge escogió. He chose, right? Jorge escogió unos pantalones. He chose some pants. Jorge escogió. Marta y Felisa. Again, we want to go to they and encontrar. Marta y Felisa encontraron. They found, they find faldas y zapatos. So they found dresses skirts and shoes. Todos, and the word is gastar. Todos means everybody, everyone. Todos, so it's plural, right? Todos gastaron, right? Everybody spent. Gastaron, they spent what? Mucho dinero. They spent a lot of money. Everybody spent a lot of money. Okay, look at part B. Alfredo describes what he did yesterday. Supply the correct yo form of the verbs in parentheses to complete this narration. Now, be careful with that GAR, right? The GAR and the CAR, ZAR. See, these are all going to be irregular, aren't they? Right? Remember your book from These special verbs, they have spelling changes in the yo form only. So you see how they're trying to get you to practice that difference? Okay? So we have to think about it. We got to be careful. Okay? So llegar would be llegué. You got to have that U in there to preserve the hard G sound. Llegué a la escuela. I arrived at school. A las 8:45 at 7:45. Navegar, right? To sail or to surf. Usually nowadays we use it for in navigating to surf the internet. I guess even nowadays we don't really say that as much anymore. Navegué en la red. I navigated on the internet, right? You surfed the net. In the computer room. En la sala de computadoras, navegué. Navegué. So it's trying to test you, right? If you know, if you learned that you need to supply that spelling change. With tocar, we have the same thing because we're going to say toqué, right? But we can't use a C in there, right? That would be tose. We can't use that. So we have to use a QU. Toqué en la orquesta. I played in the orchestra. Toqué. For almorzar, we have almorcé, right? I ate lunch, or I had lunch. Almorcé con mis amigos. I ate lunch with my friends. Buscar becomes what? Busqué, doesn't it? Busqué. I looked for it. Looked for what? My book. My chemistry book. I looked for it. Busqué mi libro. And the last one is empezar. Now, empezar is a lot like almorzar, right? Because we have that ZAR there, don't we? The ZAR. And here we have empezar. So it's the same kind of pattern. Empecé a estudiar. I began to study for the test. So this is very important in Spanish to make sure you keep in mind the spelling changes that take place. GAR for the yo form only changes to GU to it simply preserves the sound. The CAR is the same thing. We have a tocar kind of sound, the car, right? You want to keep the k sound. And the way you do that in Spanish is to supply a QU in there to replace it. Okay? And the last one was ZAR, which you're not really conserving anything, but you know it makes the Z it just makes it so it's not necessary anymore. You know, in older Spanish it would have been spelled like this. And that little tail down there is called the cedilla. Is actually where the letter Z comes from. That's why they use that letter Z, because it means pronounce that C like a Z sound. Pronounce it like an S. That's where it came from. And in modern Spanish, you just write the letter Z now. So that's the origin of that. So with the almorcé, you no longer need to have the C sound, the K sound, you know, pronounced like an S sound, because you have an E after it. So it can change back to a normal C. But it would have been written with a C with a little hook underneath called a cedilla. And that would have meant pronounce this like an S or a Z sound. Okay. Next. Aquel es mío. We need to look at how do you say like that one and so on and so forth. So let's do it. Demonstrative adjectives. Demonstrative. Think of demonstration. What do you do for a demonstration? You show something. A demonstrative adjective shows something. It points out something, just like you would do for a demonstration. To point out something or someone that is far from both you and the person you're speaking to, use the form of aquel, which means that one way over there. And here's a chart that compares the 3 demonstrative adjectives and their meanings. You are familiar already with este and esta, estos and estas, this and these. That is ese. You just take the T out. Ese, esa, esos, esas. You take the T out of the este and esta, etc., and you get those or that. Now, that one over there, meaning it's away from both the speaker and the person you're speaking to. You would use aquel and aquella, that one over there, and then for the plural would, of course, be aquellos and aquellas. You can think of the pronouns too. You have él, ella, ellos, and ellas. All demonstrative adjectives come before the noun and they agree with the noun in gender, masculine or feminine, and number, singular or plural. So now let's take a look back at 2B6 in your student guide. Write sentences to tell who the things over there belong to. And going with the model, with the example, with llavero, keychain, right? Llave is key, llavero is keychain. Yo, it belongs to me, so I'm going to say that keychain is mine. That keychain over there is mine. Aquel llavero es mío. Now, let's look at this one. Cupones de regalo. Cupón de regalo is masculine. So, aquellos cupones de regalo son. Okay, so those gift certificates are, él would be his, right? Son suyos, right? They are his. Son suyos. That's how you would do that one. Let's look at number 2. Tarjeta de crédito, right? Credit card. Nosotros. So we're going to say that credit card is ours, right? Aquella tarjeta de crédito es, right? It's es because it's singular, right? That credit card, it's only one, so it has to be is, right? Es, R would be son, es. We want to say that it's ours. Es nuestra, right? Nuestra, it's ours. You got to remember our possessive adjectives, right? It's got to agree with the gender and number of the thing. So nuestra is ours. It's our what? Credit card. Credit card is feminine in Spanish. Card is feminine. Aquella tarjeta de crédito. Card of credit. Okay. Next one, you have cheques personales, which is, again, you have to know the gender of these things. Aquellos cheques, they are masculine. Cheques masculine. Personales. Okay, with aquellos cheques personales, we must use son because they are. And they're yours, tuyos. Okay, that's how that works. You know the... I hope you know the possessive adjectives in Spanish. We have them all. We have mío. And of course, it could be feminine mía, and then plural, míos and mías. We have tuyo, we have suyo, we have nuestro. And that's actually all the options we have. Nuestro. Mío is mine, tuyo is yours. Speaking to one person, like your friend. Hey, that's yours, that book is yours, or whatever. Nuestro means ours. Este libro es nuestro, or aquella tarjeta de crédito es nuestra. That credit card is ours, it belongs to us. Suyo is for everything else. His, her, yours. It could be y'all's, like all you people. It belongs to you guys. It could also be theirs. So suyo is for everything else. So you're going to see suyo a lot in this exercise, of course, because it's the most common of the of the possessive adjectives, simply because it stands for so many more than the other ones. Suyo can mean yours, singular, yours, plural, his or her, and theirs. So there's like 4 or 5 right there. Okay. Aquel bolso, right? That purse. Now it's her purse, right? Ella, she, right? But we want to say it's hers. Es suyo, ¿verdad? Es suyo. Aquel bolso es suyo. That purse is hers. Cartera. I'm going to let you do this one. Cartera, remember, feminine. So you're going to say aquella. It's going to be like number 2. Aquella cartera es, but instead of nuestra, you're going to use the word for my. Mía. In this case, it's going to be mía because cartera is feminine. So instead of saying mío, you're going to say mía. And number 6, you have a feminine plural, and it belongs to those girls, which of course is suyo. But in this case, since it's feminine plural object, you're going to say suyas. Aquellas joyas son suyas. Those jewels are theirs. Now, with this one, you're going to look at the drawings and answer the questions based on the article of clothing that is indicated. Now, you kind of have to look at this 3-dimensionally. Like this one is close to you. This one is a little further away, and this one is furthest away. So you're going to use one of those words that you had in the grammar. You're going to use either este, esta, estos, or estas, or ese, esa, esos, esas, or you're going to use aquel, aquella, aquellos, aquellas, depending on the number and the gender of the item you're talking about. So let's look at them again. Modelo. ¿Qué falda prefieres? What skirt do you prefer? Prefiero aquella falda, right? I prefer that dress over there. You kind of see it's kind of far away. It's supposed to be far away, right? Like distance-wise. It's way over there. So let's do number 1. ¿Qué camisa prefieres? What t-shirt do you prefer? Well, I want this one right here, right? Because it's close to you. So like 3-dimensionally, right? Prefiero, and how do you say this one? Esta camisa, right? Esta camisa. This one right here, right? It's not far away. It's right here. How about number 2? We have the one that's far away, so we're going to use aquel or aquella, right? So, ¿qué pantalones prefieres? What pants do you prefer? Me gustan. I like. And I just told you we're going to use a form of aquel, right? Aquellos, because it's masculine, isn't it? Pantalones. Aquellos pantalones. Traje is a suit, right? ¿Qué traje prefieres? And there's only 2 to choose from here. ¿Qué traje prefieres? Prefiero. Looks like we're just going to use that one instead of that one over there. So prefiero ese traje. I prefer that suit right there, that suit right over there. Not aquel, of course, but ese. Ese, meaning that it's closer to the person that you're speaking to. Okay, last one, número 4. ¿Qué zapatos prefieres? What shoes you prefer? Me gustan. And again, you're going to use the same kind of thing, right? It's those, but not those over there. All right, those would be too far. We want those ones over there. Me gustan esos zapatos. Those shoes over there. Those shoes, not those shoes over there, but those shoes. Me gustan esos zapatos. Now, to end this part, you're going to use adjectives as nouns. When you're comparing two similar things, you can avoid a repetition by dropping the noun and using an article with an adjective. ¿Cuál prefieres? ¿La sudadera apretada o la floja? What do you prefer? The tight sweater or the loose one, right? Or you have a translation right over here. And notice that you say la floja, la sudadera, right? It's the loose one. But you still use the feminine because you're referring back to la sudadera. That's your subject. Prefiero la floja. I prefer the loose one. But in Spanish, you don't say that word one. You just say la floja. Okay, you can do this with expressions that use de. Compraste una chaqueta de lana o una de cuero. Did you buy a wool jacket or a leather one? Or literally one of leather, referring back to una chaqueta. ¿Prefieres el abrigo de Paco o el de Juan? Do you prefer the literally the coat of Paco, Paco's coat, or Juan's, right? Or Juan's one, or the one of Juan. So that's how that works. So let's practice that with 2B7 in your student guide. Look at these, look at the question and answer in the modelo. ¿Compraste una camisa de algodón o una camisa de lana? Did you buy a t-shirt made of cotton or one made out of wool? So the answer here is compré una de lana. I bought one made out of wool. I bought one made out of wool. Go by the underlined phrase here, right? So use the underlined noun to answer. So let's look at number 1. ¿Compraron ustedes? Did you all buy el cinturón de tela, right? The belt made of cloth or fabric, the fabric belt, o el cinturón de cuero? Did you buy the leather belt? So we're going to answer the question. Now, the question was for compraron ustedes, right? As you can see, compraron ustedes right here. Did you all buy? Well, you can't say ustedes as the answer. You must use the nosotros form. Nosotros compramos, because the AR form is the same in the past tense. We bought. We want the fabric belt. Nosotros compramos el de tela. El de tela. We bought the one made out of leather, and that's how you would say it in Spanish. You don't have to repeat cinturón because we already know that we're talking about it. Let's look at number 2. ¿Encontraste una blusa blanca o una blusa azul? Did you find a white blouse or a blue blouse? And we want to answer with blue because it's underlined. So, and now encontraste obviously becomes encontré. Encontré. And if you're not sure why, you got to think about it. You should know why. Encontré means I found, because the question is, did you find? So you're answering the question as if you were asked it. Encontré, and una blusa is una azul. I found a blue one, because we already know that we're talking about blouses. We don't need to repeat it. Just like in English, we avoid the repetition. We say a blue one, a white one, whatever. Okay, number 3. ¿Se probó Juana unos pantalones de color claro o unos pantalones de color oscuro? Did Juana try on light color pants or dark color pants? So we want to say that she tried on. Se probó. We copy the verb there. Se probó. Se probó. We want to say unos pantalones. So unos de color claro, oscuro. Right? She tried the dark colored ones on. She tried on the dark colored ones. Right? That's what we say in English. We don't have to repeat pantalones. It's already understood. Look at number 4. Escogiste un bolso caro, un bolso barato. Did you choose a expensive purse or inexpensive purse, a cheap purse. And we want to say that I chose, right? I chose a cheap, expensive one. Escogí. Okay, so escogí. And in this case, we're going to have escogí, uno caro. I chose an expensive one. Now it's uno because it's not followed by a noun. So we'll put the O back on the end of un. Okay, cinco. Number 5. ¿Vieron ustedes? Did you all see? What did you all see? Muchos estilos nuevos o pocos estilos nuevos? Did you all see many new styles or a few new styles? So we want to say what? How do you answer this? ¿Vieron ustedes? Well, we want to say nosotros vimos. And here again, we have the verb ver, which in the past tense does not have any written accents. Vimos muchos nuevos. We saw many new ones, and we just leave it alone right there. So we're just basically taking out the noun, aren't we? Number 6. ¿Buscaste una gorra roja o una gorra negra? Did you look for a red hat or a black hat? Now, the cool thing here is that it's testing you. If you remember, buscaste, what's those CAR verbs, right? We need to be able to use the spelling change on those for the yo form. Busqué una negra, right? I looked for a black one. Busqué una negra, meaning a black hat. Ok, número 7. ¿Escribieron ustedes unas composiciones largas o unas composiciones cortas? Did you all write some long compositions or short compositions? We want to say we wrote. Escribimos. So not only do you have to keep in mind with the vocabulary and the verbs and the new kinds of things to think about, but also how you're going to answer, right? If the exercise is having you answer the question, you got to be able to think, okay, escribieron ustedes? Did you all do this? The answer is we, right? We did it. Escribimos unas, and just take out the noun, unas cortas. We wrote some short ones. Okay, that's how we would say it in English. Número 8. ¿Te gustó más el disco compacto de Laura? Did you like Laura's CD more? Or el disco compacto de Carmen? Did you like Laura's CD better or Carmen's CD better? So we want to say I liked, right? Me gustó, ¿verdad? Me gustó el de Laura. Or me gustó más. I liked it more. I preferred it. Me gustó más el de Laura. Laura's the one from Laura. That's what we're saying here. Okay, that will complete this section. Muchas gracias. Stay tuned for the very last portion, the very last part for next week. Gracias.